First day on every hunt with your new client is always a learning process. And the biggest thing for me is if they enjoy walking or not. It makes the hunt so much easier.
It's a beautiful, quiet morning. In my opinion, one of the best mornings this year. Good chance we're going to see some nice animals today. Moose, caribou, or bear. So, I can't wait to get inside so I can see a more open area.
It didn't take long for me to figure out that Steve was game for anything. So, with the attitude that I seen he had, I took him in a place that I knew that the chances of anyone ever shooting a moose in this area was pretty slim.
A lot of moose.
Because of the rough terrain and outback country. The first place we stopped to view it with our binoculars, the view was just breathtaking. But except for the scenery, we didn't see anything that caught our attention. So we decided to move on. We did see a couple small ones that we didn't even film. But after seeing this scrape, we knew the big one was here somewhere. But I guess today just wasn't the day. So we took our time and walked back to our bike and went to a different area. Didn't take long. We seen this small one. So just for fun, I decided to call him to see how close he'd come. This is one lucky moose. All I can say is good job Steve was not a local, because this one would have ended up in someone's freezer. Would have made good meat for the winter.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Over across the valley, we could see a bigger one. We see the antlers shining in the binoculars. So we took our time and got over closer. And the big bull was coming down through the woods just perfect for us. When this little fellow, he looked like he was ready to fight, decided to come over to see what all the excitement was about. And of course, you know what happened. He kept circling us until he smelled us and turned and ran away. And the big bull, of course, wouldn't come down to the woods no further.
Oh.
The big one right now was right over that little bull's back, about 20 yards in the trees, ready to come out. And this little fella smelled us and ruined our plans. We still don't know how big he was, but according to all the noise he was making with his antlers, he was a trophy. On our way back to the bike that evening, we come across this beautiful stag caribou. He's pretty curious, so we stopped and took a couple minutes of video. So while Steve enjoyed the chance to get a view of a caribou up close, I was making plans for tomorrow. I knew that the weather was going to turn bad, and usually with rain we get fog here in Newfoundland. And with fog, well, you can't see very far, of course. I knew we had to go from a spot and stock style of hunt to try and call the moose. And I knew of a perfect place to do that when it was foggy. I was in the same place last fall, late in the season. I walked upon two big bulls, 4 or 5 total, but 2 big bulls. One was huge. Let's go back and I'll show you. And if he's either like he was last season, Steve won't have any trouble in taking this moose. The quality is not real good. It's a holder type camera, but it's no trouble to see. You got a beautiful rack. So, not knowing for sure if there's here moose in hearing distance of my call, I decided to give it a shot. We didn't have nothing to lose. It was so foggy we couldn't do nothing else anyway. So I thought I'd give it a try.
Oh, Mama, what a moose. What a moose.
Count his points.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on this side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's a 20-point moose. Holy moly. What an animal. I am so pumped. This is better than any deer hunt I've ever been on in Texas. I have Hunting with the Judge to thank for this fantastic trophy moose. He's a 20-point moose from Newfoundland, Canada, and I'm amazed at how hard he was to bring down. If it wasn't for the expert help and calling of my guide, I couldn't have done it. This moose is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Dion. Appreciate that, man.
Gosh. Congratulations, Steve.
I couldn't have done it without you. I could not have done it. This man called in my moose out of the woods at 8 o'clock in the morning onto the beach of the lake, where I blasted him and couldn't find any more bullets and lost my pants in the process.
Yeah, he turned down for a dozen yesterday,
How long a shot was that?
and he was rewarded for it. What's that?
How long a shot was that?
Oh, you
50 yards?
75.
75 yards?
75-yard shot. Beautiful shot.
And tell me about the cutters.
Yeah, locally, we back here in Newfoundland, or around my town anyway, we always like to see front cutters. We call them brow tines.
Brow tines.
I've seen two and three, but to get 3 and 3 is really good.
Really
good.
rare.
Yeah. Really
And this moose would weigh approximately 1,100 pounds?
Yeah.
Or more?
Yeah.
And he's a 20 point, roughly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 20 point.
Well, I think this one right here, is that countable?
Oh, yeah.
Scoreable?
In my books it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 by 10 and
10
three
by
and
10.
2 3-inch cutters.
Beautiful.
What a moose!
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Second day of the hunt. Before 8 o'clock this morning, on Tuesday, September 28th, or 29th, I'm not sure which day it is, my guide, Dion Dix, called this moose in from the thick woods and alders surrounding this lake that we were hunting on. It was foggy and raining and wet, and all the way we could hear him, when he started walking. And he finally came out on the bank below where I had been, about 75 yards out, and presented a picture. I had no idea how many points, I had no idea how big he was, other than he was a trophy moose, a large animal. Beautiful mahogany colored rack on this magnificent moose from Newfoundland, Canada. And as I said, my guide is Dion Dix of Newfoundland, Canada. He has been an outstanding guide, able to make moose calls without any device other than his mouth and his hands. And in the right hand, he uses a paddle, a moose paddle, to mimic the sound of moose raking their magnificent racks on the bushes and on the trees and in the water. And then as he's doing that, he's filming the hunt, which he filmed this morning. And after I had expended all 4 shells in my Remington rifle, my .308 BDL, my scope was so fogged I could not see the animal, and consequently I shot the mud 20 yards before this beast. So you can tell I wasn't excited or nervous. I was a madman. I was crazed. But what a hunt in Newfoundland, Canada. It's the best I've ever had.